Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Danut pranams to all the devotees. Thank you all for joining in for our Srila Prabhupada book study. We'll start with prayers. Wishing all a very, very happy Krishna conscious New Year. We'll start with the prayers and then we move on to chapter 3 of the book that we're reading currently, which is Path of Perfection. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Dushi Namaha Panchatattva Atmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Dharalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatrapadam Mande Shri Gurun Dinatharinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tatsat. Hare Krishna, Dandavat pranams to all. Thank you all for joining in. So we are reading chapter number 3, wherein we are seeing, we were reading about how to see God. Right? When we anoint our eyes with love by the practice of devotional service, then the Lord reveals himself to us, and that is the way we can see the Lord. And yesterday we were reading about how do we develop that by Sambandha, Abhidaya and Prayojana Gyan. Right? Prayojana means the ultimate goal of being able to see the Lord, being able to serve the Lord personally, being able to perceive the Lord directly, face to face. That's possible only with the mercy of the Lord, which is Prayojana. But what are we supposed to do for that? We are supposed to first identify the Sambandha Gyan. What is the Sambandha Gyan? I am the servant of the Supreme Lord. And what is Abhideya? Having known my position as a servant of the Lord, then I have to engage in the Navavida Bhakti. Right? The rules and regulations for me to attract the mercy of the Lord, which is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, and Atmanivedanam. Right? So in these 9 processes of bhakti, I am going to basically perform the sadhana bhakti. Right? So now let's continue to read. How should a transcendentalist perform such bhakti? That is what is given here in the next couple of paragraphs. Right? If devotees want to read, you may raise your hands. And then, we can read paragraph by paragraph and then we can go ahead. All right. Let me share my screen. Okay. Sarva Gopi Shri Mataji, go ahead. The transcendentalist should also from there.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Tadat Pradam. The transcendentalist should also carefully control his mind, and this means fixing the mind on the Supreme Self or Krishna. As explained before, Krishna is just like the sun, and if the mind is fixed on him, there is no question of darkness. If Krishna is always on our minds, Maya or illusion can never enter. This is the process of concentration. That the transcendentalist should also be free from desires and feelings of possessiveness. People are materially diseased because they desire things and want to possess them. We desire that which we do not have, and we lament for that which we have lost. Brahmabhuta Prasannatma, one who is actually God conscious, does not desire material possessions. He has only one desire, to serve Krishna. It's not possible to give up desire, but it is possible to purify our desires. It is the nature of the living entity to have some desire, but in the conditioned state, one's desire is contaminated, conditioned, and one thinks that I desire to satisfy my senses by material possession. Purified desire is the desire for Krishna, and if we desire Krishna, desires for material possessions will automatically vanish.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
So, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati. Right? Prasannatma means we are so blissful. We're already so blissful that we have na shochati na kankshati. That means we don't have any kind of lamentation, we don't have any kind of hankering, because we understand that I am the servant of the Lord. Whatever is given to me by the Lord and is to be engaged in the Lord's service. Right? When we have this, we don't have any proprietorship mentality. We don't think that this is mine. Oh, why is this taken away from me? Right? That situation does not arise, and that is the reason there is no lamentation. There is no lamentation because, oh, this was taken away from me. That's the reason we lament, right? So we don't lament for that. And na kankshati, no hankering also. No, I want this, I want this, I want this. Because we are situated there in a particular position that whatever we get by the mercy of the Lord, we are going to utilize it in the Lord's service. So in that situation, there is no lamentation and there is no hankering also. And that way, what is it? Peace is the first step, right? We are peaceful in this particular stage. And another thing, what is there is, we also get bliss. Right? Where there is no peace, right? There cannot be any bliss, right? Peace formula, Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, right? Bhoktaram yajna tapasam, sarva loka maheshwaram, suhradam sarva bhutanam, nyatva mam, shanti mrichati. In that purport, Prabhupada mentions, where there is no peace, how can there be happiness, right? Peace is the first stage, shanta. Only when our mind is peaceful, can we aspire to do something that will give us happiness. Right? We can perform devotional service also only when our mind is peaceful. When you're already hankering for something, we are lamenting the loss of something. Then that's why even in the deity worship, it is said that when we are in extremely emotional situations, we should not be doing deity worship also, because our mind will not be there. You'll be thinking of the lamenting situation, or mind will be hankering for something. Will not be able to focus on the work that you are doing. So in this way, it is mentioned that the proper conditioning or the condition of the mind to perform devotional services, one should be na shochati na kankshati. One should not be lamenting and one should not be hankering for external things. All right, let's move forward. Who wants to read? Shucho deshe pratisthapya stiram asanam atmanah nat uchritam nati nicham Chailajina kushotaram tatraikagram manah kritva yata chittendriya kriyaha upavishyasane yunjad yogam atma vishuddhaye. Yeah, who wants to read? Okay, let me read. Okay, Karpagavali Mataji, go ahead.
Mataji, thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
To practice yoga, one should go to a secluded space and should lay kusa grass on the ground and then cover it with a deer skin and a soft cloth. The seat should neither be too hot, too high, or too low, and should be situated in a sacred place. The yogi should then sit on it very firmly and should practice yoga to purify the heart by controlling his mind, senses, activities, and fixing the mind on one point. Bhagavad Gita 6.11
to 12.
11 to
okay,
12.
Mataji, there's a lot of disturbances. No problem. I'll read it. No problem. Okay. In these verses, it is emphasized how and where one should sit. In the United States and other Western countries, there are many so-called yoga societies, but they do not practice yoga according to these prescriptions. A sacred place refers to a place of pilgrimage. In India, the yogis, the transcendentalists or devotees all leave home and reside in sacred places known as Prayag, Mathura, Vrindavan, Rishikesh, and Haridwar, and solitude practice yoga where these sacred rivers such as the Yamuna and the Ganges flow. So, how is this possible in this age? How many people are prepared to find such a sacred place? In order to earn one's livelihood, one has to live in a congested city. There is no question of finding a sacred place, but for the practice of yoga, this is the first prerequisite, right? Even in Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna is telling Krishna, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna, Pramati Balavadridam, right? It is very difficult to control my mind, O Arjuna, right? This was in Dwapara Yuga, isn't it? When Arjuna is saying it is very difficult to control the mind, and we are almost 5,000 plus years into Kali Yuga. And if we have to perform any other yajna or sitting in one place, meditate, right, we will not be able to do it, right? We have everyday experience in the morning. When we are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we are thinking of so many other things. It's very, very difficult to focus our mind, especially in this age of Kali. And also, we are not able to perform any other yajnas. Why? Because there is no purity in the ingredients that is available, right? The ghee, purified ghee is not there. The other ingredients that are required for the performance of yajnas are not there. That's why the yajna that's prescribed in Kali Yuga is yajna sankirtana prayer and yajantihi su medasaha. What is the yajna prescribed in Kali Yuga? Yajna that is prescribed in Kali Yuga while we are living in congested cities is we can sit in the comforts of our home and simply chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Simply by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra in this age of Kali, we will get the same benefit what is obtained by a person performing meditation in Satya Yuga, by performing deity worship in Dwapara Yuga, by performing yajnas in Treta Yuga. The same benefit one will get simply by performing Harinam Sankirtan in Kali Yuga. Right? So Prabhupada is mentioning, currently we don't have any place where we can go and feel peaceful. Because our mind is congested, we live in a congested city. So the best way to do is Harinama Sankirtan. Okay, let's go ahead. Therefore, in this Bhakti Yoga system, the temple is considered the sacred place. So Prabhupada always says that if you are staying in any ISKCON temple and rendering services, that is equal to living in the Dham. Every ISKCON temple is a Dham. Why? Because starting from Mangal Arati in the morning till Shaina Arati in the night, the entire day what runs in an ISKCON temple is devotional service unto the Lord, right? You have Darshan Arati, then you have Guru Puja, then you have Bhoga Arati, then you have Sandhya Arati, then you have Tulasi Puja, and then, it ends with Shaina Arati. So a place where 24 hours are dedicated to the service of the Lord is a Dham, and the ISKCON temples are Dhams like that. Okay, who will read? Yeah, Vrishabhanu Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, yes.
The temple is nirguna, transcendental. According to the Vedas, a city is in the mode of passion and a forest is in the mode of goodness. The temple, however, is transcendental. If you live in a city or town, you live in a place where passion is predominant. And if you want to escape this, you may go to a forest, a place of goodness. God's temple, however, is above passion and goodness. Therefore, the temple of Krishna is the only scheduled place, secluded place for this age. In this age, it is not possible to retreat to a forest, nor is it useful to make a show of practicing yoga in so-called yoga societies and at the same time engage in nonsense. Therefore, in the Bruhad Narayan Puran, Brahma Naradiya Puran, it is said that in Kali Yuga, when people are generally short-lived, slow in spiritual realization, and always disturbed by the various anxieties, the best means of spiritual realization is chanting the holy names of the Lord. Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Namaiva Kevalam, Kalau Nasti Eva Nasti, Kalau Nasti Eva Nasti, Eva Nasti, Eva Gatir Anyatha.
Anyatha.
In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. This is the solution, the grand gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this age, other yoga practice are not feasible, but this practice is so simple and universal that even a child can take to it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, Yajna is Sankirtana prayer, right? We have this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the prayer that is Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sango Panga Astra Parshadam. Yajna is Sankirtana prayer Yajantihi Su Medasaha. Right? Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam. Right? That means he is Krishna himself. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Lord Krishna himself. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam. That means his complexion is not Krishna. Is not like Krishna. So he is coming in a golden complexion. He is not in a blackish complexion. Krishna Varnam, Tvisha Krishnam, Sango Panga Astra Parshadam. Right? Whenever Krishna incarnates, right, he always brings with him some weapons. Right? Vishnu, he always has Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. Right? Nrsingadev, when he appeared with his nails, right, to tear apart the chest of Hiranyakashipu. So like this, whenever an incarnation takes place, they always come with their weapons. So what is the weapon of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Sangha and Upanga. That means these are the associates of the Lord, are the weapons of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? And what did he preach? Yajna Sankirtana prayer. That means he preached the message of Sankirtana Yajna. Yajantihi Su Medasaha. Who will take up this process? The most intelligent people. Medasa means intelligent. The most intelligent people will take up this process of Harinama Sankirtan in this age of Kali. Right? Yajna Sankirtana prayer Yajantihi Su Medasaha. Right? And also Prabhupada mentions here about the defects of Kali Yuga. Right? In Kali Yuga, we have a low lifespan. Right? Prayena Alpa Yusha Sabhya. Kalavasmin Yugejana. The people in Kali Yuga, we have a low Ayu or a low lifespan, very low lifespan. Right? Then Prayena Alpa Yusha Sabhya Kalavasmin Yugejana. Manda Sumanda Matayo. That means we are lazy, we are misguided, and Manda Bhagya. That means our fault. We are less fortunate also. We are unfortunate people. Manda Bhagya, Upadrataha. Right? Because of all these qualities of the Kali Yuga Vasis, we are very less intelligent. We are quarrelsome. We cannot understand transcendental subject matters. There are no qualified Brahmanas who can even teach us how to perform, these yajnas or this bhakti, etc. Right? That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was prescribed for the age of Kali simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We'll be able to perform the Yuga Dharma for this age of Kali, which is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. All right. So let's move on to chapter number 4. This chapter is entitled Moderation in Yoga. Okay, so who will read this? Nisha Mataji, go ahead. Nisha Mataji, you need to unmute yourself.
दंडवत प्रणाम सभी को, नववर्ष का प्रणाम, शुभकामनाएं. In this 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the system of Sankhya Yoga, which is the meditational Ashtanga Yoga system, is emphasized. Jnana Yoga emphasizes the philosophical process of analysis by which we determine what is Brahman and what is not Brahman. This process is known as the Neti process, or not this, not that. In the beginning of the Vedanta Sutra, it is stated, in this.
Haribol, Mataji, we're not able to hear you. A lot of disturbance.
Hello. In this 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the system of
Sankhya Yoga. In the beginning of the Vedanta Sutra, it is stated Janmadi Yasya Yataha. The Supreme Brahman, the absolute truth is.
Supreme Brahman, the absolute truth, is he from whom everything emanates. This is a hint, and from this we must try to understand the nature of the Supreme Brahman, from whom everything is emanating.
Correct.
The nature of that absolute truth is explained in the detail in Srimad Bhagavatam. In the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Mataji, your voice is breaking.
जन्माद्यस अब अच्छा आवाज आ रही
हाँ अभी ठीक है
क्या अच्छा जन्माद्य से तोन्वयादितरताश्चैतेषु विज्ञास्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा दाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि. O my Lord, Shri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Shri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the nectar of It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen in fire or land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universes temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature appear
factual
जल्दी से दिखता नहीं है appear factual although
they are unreal.
I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Shri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. Thus,
Hare
from
Krishna.
the very beginning,
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam sabhi ko.
Thank you, Dandavat Pranam. All right. So in the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, what are we studying? Janmad yasyaton vedad itaratas tarteshva vignyaswarat. So Krishna is Swarat. He is completely independent. What is he doing? Tejo vari mritam yato vinimayo irmat mrigo nrisha. That means what? He is putting in the devatas into illusion. Right? How is he putting the devatas into illusion? The devatas also cannot really understand who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Only such a person can understand whom the Lord himself gives the eyes to see. Right? He tells Arjuna also, I'll give you the eyes by which you can see my universal form. Right? So, now he puts the, because sometimes water is seen as fire in a mirage. We see sometimes there is water, but there is no water at all in the desert. So, this is illusion, that which is not. So, tejo vari mritam yatha vinimayo tatra nisargo nrisha damna sveta sadani rashtakuhakam. Damna means the dham of the Lord. Right? The Lord is eternally residing in his dham. Damna svena sadani rashta. He is always eternally situated in his dham. Satyam param dhimahi. He is the absolute truth and he is the primeval cause of all causes. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I am meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is what this is what Vyasadeva writes in Bhagavatam first verse. Right? Meditating upon the Supreme Lord. Telling that you only gave this knowledge of subcreation to Visarga or subcreation to Brahma. Right? So, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Krishna. Ishvaraha Parama Krishna Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govindaha Sarvakarana Karanam. He is the supreme cause of all causes. Let's go ahead. That's from the very beginning. Who'll read? Okay, Navkishori Mataji, go ahead.
Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna, that was. That's from the very beginning.
From very beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the absolute truth I proclaimed to be cognizant. He is not dead or void. And what is the nature of his cognizance? Anvaya the itara tasa chata charteshu. He is directly and indirectly cognizant of all manifestation to a limited degree. Each and every living entity is cognizant, and but we are not completely cognizant. I may claim this is my head, but if someone asks me, do you know how many hairs are on your head? I will not able to reply. Of course, this kind of knowledge
It's not transcendental.
sorry, this kind of knowledge is not transcendental, but in Srimad Bhagavatam it is stated that the Supreme Absolute Truth knows everything directly and indirectly. I may know that I am in, but I do not know the intricacies of the eating process. How my body is exactly assimilating food, how the blood is passing through my veins, etc. I am cognizant that my body is functioning, but I do not know how these processes are working perfectly and all at once. This is because my knowledge is limited.
Yeah.
By definition, God is
after 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, you can continue. So, see, we know only 5% of the activity, right? Do we know what happens to the food after I put it inside my mouth? I don't know, right? We chew it, and that much only we know. But then the food goes into the throat, the food goes into the stomach, and after that, how it gets digested? What is the Jataragni or the fire that is digesting the food? All that we don't know at all, and how the the extra food is done is done away with through the excretory system. We don't know how the digestion etc. works. So we are cognizant because we are part and parcel of the Lord, but our cognizance is very limited. It is very limited to understanding that I have to pick up the food with my hand, I have to put it inside my mouth, I have to chew the food, and I have to swallow it. That much only I know. And after that, whatever happens within the body is it's not within my control. How the digestion happens, how the excretion happens, all that, how all the parts of the body are rejuvenated by such food put in just inside the mouth. Now, how does all that happen? We don't know, right? That is the omnipotence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has actually generated a process, created a process by which the entire functioning of the body happens perfectly well. We are not at all aware. We are aware only probably 5% of the process. We simply start the process and then everything happens by the will of the Lord, like that. Okay. Who wants to read? Last paragraph and then we'll end. By 1:15 we'll end. Who wants to read? Okay. So let me continue reading. Anyone wants to read? You can raise your hand. By definition, God is He who knows everything. Okay. Jayanti Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
By definition, God is He who knows everything. He knows what is going on in every corner of this creation. Therefore, from the very beginning, Srimad Bhagavatam explains that the supreme truth from whom everything is emanating is supremely cognizant. Abhi? What Mataji?
Abhijna Swarat. A verse from the word. It is a word from the verse. Abhijna.
No, Mataji. Bhagavatam explained that the supreme truth from whom everything is emanating is supremely cognizant. Abhijna. One may ask, if the absolute truth is so powerful, wise and cognizant, he must have attained this knowledge from some similar being. This is not the case. If he attains his knowledge from someone else, he is not God. Swarat. He is independent and his knowledge is automatically there. Srimad Bhagavatam is the supreme combination of both of Jnana and Bhakti Yoga system because it analyzes in details the nature of that supreme being from whom everything is emanating. By the Jnana Yoga system, one attempts to understand the nature of the absolute truth in the philosophical way. In the Bhakti Yoga system, the target is the same. The methodology, however, is somewhat different, whereas the Jnani attempts to concentrate his mind philosophically on the supreme. The Bhakta engages. 1 minute, Mother.
Simply engages himself?
Simply engages himself in the service of the Supreme Lord, and the Lord reveals himself. The Jnana method is called ascending process, and the Bhakti method is called the descending process. If we are in the darkness of the night, we may attempt to attain the sunlight by ascending in a powerful rocket. According to the descending process, however, we simply await the sunrise, and then we understand immediately.
Hare Krishna. So here what is mentioned, there is this Aroha Pantha and there is an Avaroha Pantha. What is Aroha Pantha? Aroha Pantha means I'm going to do various kinds of speculation. I'm going to make some assumptions. Right? And in this way, 90, this is not the truth. This is not the truth. So I will reject everything. And finally, I may arrive at one path. But that path is not correct. Why? Because we have 4 defects. Right? What are the 4 defects that we have? We are prone to make mistakes. We are committed. We are prone to cheat. And then we are under illusion and we have imperfect senses. When we have these 4 defects, how can we analyze the absolute truth? By going up the Aroha process. That will not work. So which process will work? The Avaroha process or the descending process will only work. What is the descending process? Krishna gave this knowledge to Arjuna. Arjuna gave this knowledge in the descending succession. Right? Krishna gave in 4 bona fide paramparas, right? The Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, Rudra Sampradaya, Shri Sampradaya, and the Kumara Sampradaya. So they all have passed the same knowledge in disciplic succession from one guru to another. So this is the best way to hear transcendental knowledge. That is why it said Shravanam. When we hear from a bona fide spiritual master, then only we will be able to understand Bhakti. That is why Bhakti is better than Jnana. Why? Jnana involves a lot of mental speculation by which we need not arrive at the absolute truth. Right? And that process is also very, very long. Right? The Jnana Marg is, you have to keep learning. And for that, we need to also do meditation. Right? Which you are not able to do in Kali Yuga. So in Kali Yuga, simply by approaching a bona fide spiritual master, hearing from such a bona fide spiritual master, we will be able to understand Bhakti completely. Right? So, similar, like Prabhupada gives here the example of Krishna Surya Sama, Maya Haya Andhakar. Right? In the night, we are not able to see anything because there is darkness. But in the morning, when the sun rises, automatically we are able to see things. We need not endeavor by anything. But in the night, if we want to see things, right? Even if we take the torchlight and go and we search for the sun, can we see the sun? We cannot see the sun. The sun has to appear. The sun has to rise. Only then we'll be able to see the sun. Similarly, when we hear the transcendental knowledge from a bona fide spiritual master, then the Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. So that knowledge revealed by the spiritual master will eliminate the darkness that is there in our heart. What is the darkness in our heart? Ignorance. The ignorance that is there as darkness in the heart will be eliminated only when we hear transcendental knowledge from a bona fide spiritual master. That's what is given here. So according to the descending process means what? We hear from our spiritual authority. He has heard from his spiritual master. He hears from his spiritual master. Like that, the knowledge is received in the Guru Parampara system in a descending way. All right. So let's read the last paragraph. Who'll read this? Through the ascending process, we attempt to reach the Supreme through our own endeavor, through the process of induction. By induction, we may attempt to find out whether man is mortal by studying thousands of men, trying to see whether they are mortal or immortal. This, of course, will take a great deal of time. If, however, I accept from a superior authority the fact that all men are mortal, my knowledge is complete and immediate. So it is easy to understand when somebody explains it to me rather than me trying to do experimentation with my imperfect senses. Thus, it is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, my dear Lord, a person who has received a little favor from you can understand you very quickly. But those who are trying to understand you by the ascending process may go on speculating for millions of years and still they can never understand you. So this is a beautiful way in which Prabhupada is explaining, right? We can go on speculating using our mind, but we will not be able to understand the absolute truth. But when we just stop and hear from a bona fide authority, then we will be able to understand what is the supreme absolute truth. Okay, by mental speculation, one is more likely to simply reach a point of frustration and confusion and conclude, oh, God is zero. But if God is zero, how are so many figures emanating from him, right? When the source itself is shunya, then how is it that so many, like we see so much of variety in this material world, right? How can the source be zero and there can be so much of variety? As the Vedanta says, Janmadi yataha, everything is generated from the Supreme. Therefore, the Supreme cannot be zero. We have to study how so many forms, so many infinite living entities are being generated from the Supreme. This is also explained in the Vedanta Sutra. Veda Anta. Veda Anta means conclusion of all the Vedas. What is the Vedanta? It is a study of ultimate knowledge. The word Veda means knowledge, Anta means ultimate, and ultimate knowledge is knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. With this, we'll stop today. So, what do the Vedas tell us? Veda Anta. It actually tells us the explanation of Janmadi Yasya Yatohan Vyat Itratas Charteshva Bigneswarat. The first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam as composed by Srila Vyasadeva. It says that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the cause of all causes. And how to understand the Supreme Lord? Not by the process of Aroha Panta, not by the process of induction, not by the process of mental speculation, but by Avaroha Panta. That means by the descending process. That means by hearing from our Guru, who has heard from his Guru, who has heard from his Guru. And in this way, the knowledge flows down through the Avaroha Panta or through the bona fide disciplic succession. And in this way, when we acquire this knowledge, that is called ultimate knowledge. Why is it ultimate knowledge? Because it is knowledge about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So with this, we'll end our session today. Tomorrow we will meet at 12:30 from next Monday onwards, which means from 14th Sunday. We will have everyday session, including on Saturday and Sunday also. Right? So Saturday, Sunday also we will meet at 11 o'clock sharp from 14th of January. Right? That is also, Tamil New Year. And from that day, we will have all the day sessions from 11 a.m. Right? 11 to 12 or 11 to 11:45, like that we'll study. Right? So, Grantaraj Srila Prabhupada books ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. So, quickly we'll do about 5 minutes Harinam Sankirtan and then we'll end our session. Jayanti Mataji, I'll come back to you after the Kirtan. Hare Krishna. Om Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Rishotarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Radha Madhav, Jai Shri Radha Madhav, Jai Jaya Prabhupada, Gurudev, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Shri Hari Rama Sankirtan ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai, Samveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. All glories assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Yes, everyone can unmute themselves now.
Hare Krishna Mataji. 12:30
Yes.
time was only good, Mataji.
Which one?
You told after 15 we are going to do at 11 o'clock, no, Mataji.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
timing 12:30 is only good.
Okay, so actually, we are planning to do on Saturday, Sunday also, right? So I have another class on Saturdays at 12:30. So it starts at 12 o'clock. So that's why we want to, because many devotees were asking that, when are we going to start Bhagavad Gita? So we want to complete all of the small books of Prabhupada. That's why we want to have it on Saturday, Sunday also, all the 7 days of the week. So in case you're not able to join on any particular day on Zoom, you can check it out on YouTube. Right? Is it okay, Mataji?
Okay, Mataji, because we will be having Kannada Bhagavatam class at 11. That's why I asked Mataji.
Oh, all the days, even Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah. No, only Saturday, Sunday, there will be no classes. Only 5 days, up to Friday.
So 11 to 12, is it?
Yeah, 11 to 12 it is.
Okay. Okay, so
Okay,
maybe
Mataji,
we,
I'll watch in YouTube.
yeah, or maybe we will do 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock is okay. 10 to 11 is fine with everyone.
Yeah, for me it's okay.
Yeah, if 10 to 11 is okay, then we'll propose that. We'll see maximum what time can
Ask
be.
everyone, Mataji, ask everyone in the
Yeah.
group.
I'll post
If
it in the
they are-
group. Maybe I'll put a poll in the group and then we can decide on the time.
Okay, Mataji, thank you,
10 to
Mataji.
11 or 11 to 12 we can have, yeah? Okay, Hare Krishna. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hari
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 Hari.
Hari.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam to all the devotees.
हरे
All the
कृष्णा
Hare
Vaishnavas.
Krishna.
प्रणाम सभी को
Happy,
दंडवत प्रणाम
Krishna conscious New Year as per the
Yes.
English calendar. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada ki
हरे
jai.
कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna.
जय